are certain names that really make me cranky. These are names that are basically two names merged into one. And no, I'm not talking about those goofy-ass hyphenated hillbilly names like Jim Bob or Wilma Joe. No, I'm talking about perfectly ordinary names. Like Patrick. Well, fucking pick one. Either you're Pat or you're Rick. Quit trying to be both. Nathaniel is another one. They tried to be sneaky, swapped about a few letters and merging two N's together, but they can't fool me. Nathaniel is just Nathan and Neil jammed together for no good reason. Don't even get me started on Robert or Carolyn. There are other things I've noticed about names, things I can't help but think about every time I hear them, like Rebecca. Every time I hear that name, I wonder when she Becca'd the first time. Personally, I think you should have to Becca once before you can re-Becca. Is it possible that every Rebecca is a reincarnated Becca? Or Kimberly. You ever notice that shit's an adverb? But what is Kimber that you can be like it? I'm doing blah, and it's very Kimberly. Or maybe I was behaving very Kimberly, and it really pissed people off. If I ever have a son, I want to name him Bo. Bodacious. And a girl? Gnarly. Would it be possible for the British to generate some fantasy by people who have first names they're willing to share with us? I mean, come on. There's Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. There's Narnia by C.S. Lewis. Hell, J.R.R. Tolkien is just taking the piss. The dude's taunting us with that extra R in there. You just know he's pulling that shit on purpose. I mean, come on. What's up with that? I mean, okay, yes, there's Philip Pullman, but still, he's almost the exception that points out the rule. For a while there, I was watching the news and current events programs a lot. Thing is, they kept talking about the war on terror, the war in Iraq, elections, George frickin' Bush, that sort of thing. And Hurricane Katrina kept coming up. They said Katrina all the time. And it made me wonder. I mean, Katrina is a real name. There's women and girls walking around out there with that name, and it was probably their name before the damn hurricane. But now you can't say it without conjuring up images of New Orleans. So it makes me wonder, do people make fun of them? Do these poor people shorten it to Cat so that no one knows? Will we see a drop in the number of babies named Katrina for years to come? Or is it a complete non-issue? Why is it that celebrities often look like their full name, but not their first name? Harrison Ford looks like a Harrison Ford, but he doesn't really look like a Harrison. Tom Cruise? I could never call him Tom. He doesn't look like a Tom. What's up with that? Ever notice how weird country names are? For example, take England. Break that word down and it's clearly proclaiming itself the land of Eng. What in hell is Eng exactly? In fact, any place name that ends in land is kind of weird. Switzer, Thai, Hall, aka Nether, Green, Ice, Finn, Po, Scott, Ire, New Z, Swazi, etc. And you have to wonder what some of those things are. I mean, okay, green and ice are pretty obvious, though I heard a rumor that those names should be reversed and are the way they are to entice people to move to one instead of the other. No idea how true that is. It turns out that Old Zealand is in, like, Denmark somewhere, though you have to wonder what in hell Z is. I've never seen Finns on anyone from Finland. I don't even want to know about the Netherlands. And you have to wonder which came first, ire meaning temper, or Irish people having a rep for having one. So those are the obvious ones. But what in hell does Switzer mean? It sounds like a verb, to switz, one who switzes. Schadenwauer? And while we're on the subject, it seems to me that someone who is from Germany should be Germany. You know, very German-like. Germany. Germanish. But then the name of Germany would have to be changed to Ger. People from Ger are Germen and Gerwomen, all of whom are very, very Germany. And let's talk about the United States of America. Now, I can't think of any other United States, so why do we feel the need to clarify that concept with of America, really? I mean, I'm just curious. And isn't it just a trifle arrogant to call it America for short? I mean, we're part of North America, and there's both South and Central America as well. I often wonder if those folks were ever miffed that we seem to think that we're the real America. We just let them borrow our name. And you know, if someone from Wales is Welsh, then someone from Belgium should be Belch. I'm just saying. But while we're on that subject, why is it that Japan has the Japanese and not the Japanish? In fact, what determines whether a race of people are the ish, the e's, the ian, the e, the n, or just plain s? I mean, who decided that crap? And it's all arbitrary too, isn't it? I mean, Germany isn't even called Germany by the Germans. It's like Deutschland or some shit. Same with Japan, or Nihon, or Nippon, depending on who you ask. So, who made that crap up when it all went English and stuff? I'm just asking. So, nicknames. How does Nick feel about this? And what do we call him? Imagine if you were able to get Adolf Hitler and Dolph Lundgren in the same room together. If Dolph and Adolf shook hands, would they simply annihilate each other? You know who my favorite historical figure is? Euripides. I don't really know who Euripides was or what he did exactly. I just like saying the name. Euripides! Euripides! It's fun. You should try it. Has anyone ever actually named a poor, defenseless baby Sherlock? Like Sherlock Holmes? I mean, sheesh, it sounds like the name of an Irish vampire, for crying out loud. And how do you nickname something like that? Lockie? Shirley? I don't know. It seems cruel to name someone that. And while we're on the subject, when he was a kid, did anyone ever call Charles Darwin Chuck or Chucky? I'm just asking.